What is up, people? This is a new format I recently discovered called 2015 Modern. I have found yet another format which will allow me to put Living End in a deck and Cascade into it. So I've never played this format. I've taken a brief look at some deck lists. It looks pretty hostile to us in general. A lot of combo from the earlier days of Modern where there weren't a lot of great answers to combos and before they'd banned Splinter Twin and Summer Bloom. So we'll see how it goes. We could lose on turn 2 or 3 or 4 here. Can't quite get out of Fulminator Mage for turn 1. I did check. Simian Spirit Guide is legal. Okay, got an Overgrown Tomb player. They take the Fulminator Mage as expected. If this is just like fair Jund, this is historically a good matchup for Living End. This is the deck you want to play against as a Living End player because they can't just combo kill you in one turn. Although we are drawing a lot of lands, we'll go ahead and Swamp Cycle the Twisted Abomination. My computer's running a little slow. Sorry about that. Even when I'm not recording, Magic Online hiccups a lot. Opponent casts Dark Confidant. It's pretty good in the face. Oops. In the face of what we have in our hand. In case they have Blood Moon, I'll just get that. And Swamp Cycle. I don't know how prevalent Blood Moon is. I don't know if Jund plays Blood Moon in this format. Just because they played Shriekmaw doesn't necessarily mean... Oops, didn't mean to do that. Trying to cast it. Doesn't mean, sorry, just because they play Bob doesn't mean we'll never have a target for Shriekmaw. This is probably a Tarmogoyf Scavenging Ooze deck as well. And now the opponent just starts to go wild with Bob. Liliana, nice, they took 3. Kind of wish I hadn't played that Spirit Guide now, because they get a free kill on it with Liliana. And there's a Raging Ravine. At least we dodged the Liliana and I get to attack, maybe, with Spirit Guide. I don't know why they would Abrupt Decay that. They can Liliana next turn. I mean, I guess I know why, because it's not going to hit anything else in our deck. That's the reason. I will search for a Cascade spell. I don't think casting that Street Wraith's going to matter, because they have Liliana. If I cast Fairy, then they have to use Liliana. Well, I can't cast Fairy. I don't have enough swamps. Never mind. Played the wrong land a few turns ago. It's a Lightning Bolt. But really, he takes a Lava Dart to the face. So think about that. And I've got nothing to do. I will drop the Pretense. Gonna discard a Blood Crypt here. Okay, so we're pretty much just in top deck mode here. If we hit... I don't want to pitch my Shriekmaw because if it comes back, it'll be forced to kill Deadshot Minotaur. And I'm not going to pitch Fairy yet because if he plays a Tarmogoyf next turn, then the Fairy could be key in like staying alive, shrinking it. Man, that is a lot of lands. All right, we don't have too much longer. Yeah, there's Tarmogoyf, there's Huntmaster. Opponent discarded Huntmaster too. Maybe we'll get a Bob kill. They need one more land to fire up Raging Ravine, which would be pretty strong. They can play a Huntmaster here. When it enters, it deals damage. No, that's only when it transforms. Alright, I will go ahead and discard Swamp, so my opponent can't play Tarmogoyf. I mean, they can play it. They choose to play Tarmogoyf. And another Tarmogoyf. Pretty much. So is there anything I can do about these graveyard sizes? Creature, land, creature, instant, sorcery. They have 4. I have land, creature. So I could take out instant sorcery and make these Tarmogoyfs way smaller. But I think I still need to remove their creatures from their graveyard. I just got to plan on drawing a Cascade spell. There we go. Alright. What I'm going to do actually is exile these 2 creatures. Because these creatures are better than Tarmogoyf. Get rid of those. Okay. I'm going to keep... So now the only thing that Shriekmaw could take out is just another Tarmogoyf. But I do end up with a Shriekmaw in play. Yeah, I think that's worth it. I'm debating if I want to just keep Shriekmaw for next turn to hardcast it in case they have like a board wipe. I don't think they do though. I don't remember these decks playing a lot of Damnations, and our opponent has 1 card in hand. So post board, this gets better for our opponent. They get to load up on Scavenging News and Graveyard Hate. Let's kill a Tarmogoyf. Then these 2 will come back and do the same thing again. Alright, unfortunately, Deadshot Minotaur has to kill Fairy Macabre. And then Shriekmaw can take out Tarmogoyf. And then we just, it's Damnation or nothing for our opponent. Unless they have some sort of haste flyer into Lightning Bolt. I'm going to just leave up Fulminator for now. Oh, that was bad. I could have, that was terrible play. I could have Fulminator maged and taken him off Damnation mana. Oh, that was just game losing potentially. Okay, if our opponent goes to the combat phase, I'm going to take out I think Blood Crypt. Ooh, that was some bad gameplay by me. And after thinking about it, the opponent goes to sideboard. We don't have a great sideboard for this. Like, Leyline of the Void doesn't do a whole lot. I've really got a lot of anti-combo sideboard. I'm more concerned about, like, Twin, Affinity, Amulet Titan. I didn't really pack much for Jund, but that's because we're just, like, good against Jund as it is. I'm going to bring in Shriekmaw. One of the ways they get us is with, like, Scavenging News. Because, let's see. This is kind of an attrition matchup. I'm going to take out Spirit Guide. I guess I'll bring in an Ignite Chewer. Because they tend to have, like, they could have, like, Relic or Nile Spellbomb. They can't have Soul Guide Lantern. They could have Chalice of the Void, I guess. Chalice would be pretty good against... They would want it for 0 cost creatures. Don't really want Leyline of Sanctity against them. I think we want a light touch. I went with no anti-burn at all. This is a very anti-combo sideboard. Yeah, my deck cannot gain life. No life will be gained. Unless our opponent helps us out. I guess I just leave the fairies in because I don't have anything better. Worst case scenario, I could fairy to disallow a Scavenging News Tome activation. Fairy Macabre kind of looks like it's got ant legs and ant feet. Like, Well, I'm pointing at my screen, but you can't see that. Like, its feet look like an insect. No time for that. The computer is starting. Another pretty good hand. Just need green mana. Well, actually, this hand's terrible. Okay, from what I remember, I think I should mulligan this pretty aggressively. This isn't like New Living End, like in 2025, where we can cast a lot of spells. We're very all in on our graveyard combo. So I'm going to send this back. That is a little better. Okay, don't need all 4 lands. This one can at least cycle. Keep that. I'll put back Overgrown Tomb. And we'll see what our opponent does on turn 1. Because I don't really know what they've got in their sideboard in this format. Well, we're not going to know till turn 2. So I think I'm also going to just tap land it up. If I drew another cycler, I could curve out into Fulminator, which would be pretty cool. I consider a tap land curving out. So in my opinion, if you go tap land on turn 1, tap land on turn 2, and then cycle 1 creature, you just curved out all 3 mana. Opponent cast Duress. They only have 1 hit. They're going to take Beast Within. Probably our worst card. Yep. Playing a Magic Foundations. Beast Within. Or, sorry, Duress. Boom, there we go. See, I fully curved out. Spend my first 6 mana. Unless something gets thought seized. I'm not going to do anything else yet. They could have another play. Okay. Get the mana right here. Kaboom. Kablamo. Okay. If I drew a Cascade spell, would I use it? Not a question I have to think about. Just go ahead and take them off of red because it's possible. Well, I can't take them off of it, but that's their best land. Although taking them off double black to disallow Liliana could have been nice. But they could still just fetch a land and then play another black land next turn. So I think taking out the man land there. And this is Trump's America, so I can say man land. Although in the future it might not be Trump's America, in which case I say person land. Tarmogoyf is huge. Tarmogoyf is a big boy. They Thoughtseize. Probably take Beast Within here. Yeah, that could slow down Tarmogoyf. Alright, now we just got a top deck. That's sort of a top deck. And that ends the top deck streak. Okay. They don't have any graveyard creatures. So what I will do is get a swamp and play fairy. Just to chump block the Tarmogoyf. I can also fetch a forest next turn and chump block it with my land. This fairy's not guaranteed to ever get another block because they have Liliana and Lightning Bolt and Abrupt Decay in their deck, so I'm going to take the opportunity while I have it. Opponent plays a tap land and passes the turn. They have 2 Raging Ravines. That's a very many Raging Ravine. Alright, let's go get our forest here. Shriekmaw was an acceptable draw. Now even like a, well, Liliano would still be kind of bad for us. Lightning Bolt would be neutral, I guess. It is 4 cards in hand to 1. Opponent has had no graveyard hate, though. Opponent's just a graveyard appreciating person. Okay. Let's see. I think I should apply maximum pressure. I understand that they could have Lightning Bolt for this Raging Ravine. If I get one attack in with it, though, where they don't have Lightning Bolt, then they can't bolt it forever. I mean, they could bolt it, but it gets worse. If that resolves, we are in the money. Oh, I didn't know Colgan's Command was legal in this format. I took it out. All right, I do get the counter, though. They return Tarmogoyf. They don't know that I drew another Shriekmaw. All right, so that was a punt by me in the deck building because I went and I took Colgan's Command out. I forgot when that card was printed. So this format ends at Magic Origins, which is right after the Khans of Tarkir block. And Culligan's Command is from, I think, the second set of that block. Maybe the third. No, it's from the third. Because that's when the dragons were like, the good versions were introduced. All right, let's just cast another Maw. And commence the jiggling. Yeah, opponent is forced to use a 1-mana card to kill our Shriekmaw. Okay, so there's a Spell Bomb. We can at least create... Oh, they just go for it now. Looking for lands. Makes sense. Well, now I can build up again. You generally want to wait to do that. And now the question is, if I don't draw a Cascade spell, what do I do? I think I just attack. Yeah, that stinks. So I'm just going to attack. Our opponent can't interact with this land right now. They only have 1 mana. Actually, no, they can't Fatal Push it. Fatal Push is not legal. The reason I didn't cast Twisted Abomination is because next turn I can cast it and leave up Regenerate. I don't know if you guys think this is better or worse gameplay than current 2025 Modern is, but I think Living In might actually be better in this format than it is right now. I think Living In is terrible right now in Modern, unfortunately. What color do I need? More green. Don't want to take any unnecessary damage. Our opponent could stabilize. All right. Right now, their graveyard's pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just continue doing this. I actually need 1 more land to hold up. Regenerate on Twisted Abomination. Pay red. Okay. This kills them if they can't do anything about it. They need to have Terminate right now. They've got it. Okay. But now we're even on cards. I think I just go cycle. Olivia Voldaren. Okay, they've committed to the board. Are they expecting like a lot of elves in this format? I remember there was a time period where Living In played this card, but I don't know what it was for. Doesn't seem very good. All right. I don't want to let them start stealing stuff. I'm just going to go nice. I'm going to put the other card in my graveyard now because they could have the trap. All right. So now when I go to my turn, now I'm back to 0 for trap. Let's swamp cycle. So I'm doing this to play around Ravenous Trap. I think that's what it's called, is the anti-graveyard trap. They can just cast it. I think it's 4 mana. If they have Damnation, I can just Violent Outburst again. But if I let them trap, then I don't have any graveyard to resurrect. You know, I should have shocked this Blood Crypt. That was derpy of me. Should have shocked Blood Crypt so I could have Regenerate up on Twisted Abomination. Ugh, so foolish. What a fool I was. What a foolish fool. And they're 1 land away from resurrecting with Olivian Voldera. Or I mean stealing. Yeah, that costs 7 total. 1, 2, 3. They have 6. So if I let that go on too much longer, that's pretty good, honestly, though. Let's just cycle now. No, you can do it on their turn. Monsters care, but it has to attack. I'm just going to let them go to combat. I'm going to trust that the one card they draw is not Ravenous Trap. Or Graveyard Trap, or whatever it's called. Alright, I'm not going to let them hit me because they could have lightning bolts. So, cancel that. We have 2 Living Ends left in the deck. And then, pardon me, once I've cast the Living End, I'm holding control. I will now cycle. Move the stack. What is opponent doing? Another Deadshot Minotaur, good. Can we hit one more cycler? Nope. Alright, we're gonna have to stop there. Beastwood thing kind of protects us. And there's no targets for Deadshot. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh my gosh. I've never seen Deadshot Minotaur take out Olivia Voldaren before. So they can steal something in response. This is actually funny. I've never seen this happen before. I forgot this had flying. Alright, so in response, they can steal like a Twisted Abomination, I guess. But they're going to need a lot of stuff. And if they do that, that occupies all their mana. And I have a Street Wraith. So they should probably take Street Wraith. But I don't see this going their way. Force of Despair is not in this format. All right, it's round number 2, and our opponent says, "Hi, good job." Thank you. I did do a good job picking the best deck. This is a 1-lander with 2 cycles, and my Fairy Macabre that could have been a Kolaghan's Command, but I'll keep. This is a good hand against, like, Jund. This deck is a little bit more awkward because I'm playing Copperline Gorge alongside Architects of Will, which Gorge cannot cycle Architects. Opponent plays Mountain Pass. Not sure what to make of that. Probably some sort of disruptive deck with like Blood Moon. I did see somebody post a deck in one of my discords that was like 4 Chalice of the Void, 4 Blood Moon, 4 Magus of the Moon. Total headache of a deck to play against. Okay. Pretty insulated from a Blood Moon at the moment. But as long as I draw a 3rd land, I can get a Forest and Beast within it. I haven't seen this mountain before. It's got a big tree in it. Wild. All right, this kind of looks like Pawns. Oh no, Sakura Tribe Auto. This is just Skate Shift. Okay. This is just straight up scape shift. Fairy Macabre is actually nice here because we can prevent the double dip here. So going to 18 is actually a big decision. That can resolve. Because 18 means they can kill you as soon as possible with scape shift. So maybe this Beast Within will help. I'm going to try to hit a third land without using my Street Wraith. Remember, I can't gain any life. There we go. Okay, so I will go. I don't think they're going to play Blood Moon. That would turn off their Valakut. And they don't have like Dryad of the Elysian Grove to bail them out of that. Just go ahead and say no to that. 6, 12, 18, 24. It's a 4-turn kill if I living end. Well, no, it's 8. So 8, 16, 24. If I add Street Wraith, that's 11. So it's a 2-turn clock versus 3-turn clock. So I think I should still use Street Wraith most likely. Just something to be aware of. All right, that's a few too many lands, deck. This game feels pretty safe at the moment. There's Valakut. We can Beast Within that next turn. I'm surprised they don't attack with Sakura Tribe Scout. Sorry, Sakura Tribe Elder. That would put me to 18. On their end step, cycle, and go for the living end. And then once they use Sakura Tribe Elder, we'll fairy. Just making sure I don't inadvertently pass through a turn or a phase here. Okay, well, they have not used Sakura Tribe Elder, and I have priority on their turn. That means as soon as I click OK, this is going to resolve. So our opponent misplayed that, I think. Sakura Tribe Elder is very good against living end because it gets 2 lands. Yeah, okay, they made a mistake there. Unfortunate. I was kind of hoping they would do it so the game would be a little closer. Oh well. Fun fact, I don't think I've ever beaten Scape Shift. Like just pure straight up Scape Shift, I find really tough. I wonder what they're doing. I'm not going to go onto the Discord and start browsing through decks, but I'm wondering if this Ingot Chewer would have anything to do. Also wonder if Shriekmaw would have anything to do. And usually I sideboard out Simian Spirit Guy, but this is like a speed matchup, so I think I'm actually going to leave it in. And I'll take out Street Wraith Shriekmaw. Doesn't seem like Shriekmaw has much to do. I have played against some more novice players in these kind of novelty leagues recently. People that don't know that like Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop living end. I wonder if anyone will do that against me in this league. Okay, this hand's reasonable. Not the highest power cycle game here, but like honestly, just these like left 3 cards are keeping this deck, so the rest of it's just gravy. Oh, the Scape Shift is a very consistent deck. Okay, well, our opponent's not responding, so I'm just going to play. I would have done it if he would have responded, but he wants to discard a Primeval Titan. I do have people do that to me sometimes. Yeah, I bet he discards a Primeval Titan here. Yep. That's actually a decent play. I didn't use my Architects of Will. That's a decent play. This is actually a hard card for us to beat. But if I ever draw my fairy, then, just kind of negates it. All right, so I made a mistake there too. I think I was Kind of just helping the opponent out. I'll go ahead and get that blood crypt down, and we're not really doing much here. They do have to play lands. Yeah, there they go. Alright, well, they're going to get Harambe. And I could have done that last turn. No, I couldn't have. Never mind. The opponent has kind of made a brilliant gambit here because I did not draw a fast enough clock to actually play through this Primeval Titan. If I were to have enough creatures in my graveyard, you could just ignore it and make two really big attacks. But I don't have big creatures in my graveyard. Also, this Architects of Will, if it enters play with Primeval Titan on their turn, the Fate Seal does nothing because they get to shuffle. They get to research the library and shuffle. Coney Heart Expedition. Okay, this is the landfall card. I wonder if I want... He doesn't have another land to trigger that, because Summer Bloom is legal in this format, by the way. Alright, opponent's laughing at us. Now it's serious. Super serial. If I blast this Colony Heart Expedition, then I can't attack. Alright, so we can let this go to one quest counter before it starts to bother us. Oh no, two quest counters. They have to remove 3. I was comparing it to the card Pyromancer's Ascension, which only needs 2 counters to get turned on. This one needs 3. So we can decide later with this Beast Within. They've got another one now. They play a land and trigger them both. They're not playing tap lands, though. They're probably out of Valakut. I'm going to deck thin. That also gets a big creature in the graveyard, but really just want to deck thin here and draw Fairy Macabre. This game becomes so easy if I do. Okay. I could also just cast that. So I think I will. What are they doing? Bolting? Okay. Now I don't think I'm going to cast. They have 4 cards in hand. Let's see if I draw Fulminator Mage. I did not. Not going to pay the life. Now I can't do anything. I don't want to go to 18 life, though. Well, Connie Hart actually is going to get them like way more than 7 lands. So, assuming they keep hitting land drops. And now if I, as soon as I live in, they're going to have Scape Shift on, or I mean Valakut on. This might just be unwinnable without, yep, there's the third. Problem is Primeval Titan can get more Valakuts. And they cast Steve. Alright, really need that fairy. They don't have the mountain count yet. I'm a little surprised they're getting this many mountains out of their deck. Alright, so any future mountains are going to net them 1 trigger. So they have 2 triggers on board right now. All right, so now my life total doesn't matter because I'm below. But how many? My life total matters, but I can't really control it. Um, Man, what a befuddling game. Hello. Okay, I think things just got much better for us because, well, they have 6 mountains. That's not good. Can I do anything? I don't think I can. Maybe they'll use Secure Tribe. Do I just lose here? I think I do. And I will Beast Within Valakut. They sack. Good. Just do this now. But I'm not going to Violent Outburst now because then Primeval Titan will enter with Valakut still in play. Yep, they shoot me to 13. Oh, wait, no, Primeval Titan doesn't enter anymore. Nice. Okay, let's just see what they do. Maybe they'll give us a creature. No, opponent doesn't give us anything. Alright, maybe I can one-shot them. I don't think I have enough damage for that. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But I have another Violent Outburst. Okay, if everything goes according to plan, it looks like we've got it. Drawing that fairy was so clutch. I'm sorry I trash talked you. I said you should have been a Kolaghan command. You are a strong, independent fairy that don't need no red mana or instant subtype. But you kind of are like an instant. Oh wait, no, dead shot's gonna kill my fairy. I can't forget that like I can in paper. I'm just kidding. I don't forget that in paper. I'm just saying you could. Go ahead and give him the old fate seal. Yes, Deadshot Minotaur, you're a very angry boy. Okay, we go ahead and stack the top of our opponent's deck. 4, 7, 13, 17 next turn. We'll go ahead and, okay, look at them. I like how it says, look at them. All right. I look at them, then you get boom, bam, kapow. Opponent could still have lightning bolts, though. If they want to bolt, they need to bolt Twisted Abomination right now. No, they just have Magma Jet, but hilariously enough, that's going to dig them straight to the Scape Shift if they're willing to put both cards on bottom. What'd they do? One top, one bottom. Okay. That probably does it then. I think we got it. Another Violent Outburst to be good. Just cycle, see what I get. Fairy was not a horrible draw. I don't know if it helps, but it could have been another living in. Just gotta, actually, I'm gonna leave up 2 swamp so I can double regen. Don't cast it, just make it big. I still have another Cascade spell. That's why I felt comfortable doing that. They can anger, but I'm pretty sure that I live through it. I'll just regen again to be sure. Wait, choose a replacement effect to replace Twisted Abomination Destruction? Alright, because I had 2 regeneration shields, I had to pick which one. That's never come up in my entire life. And we did it, alright. On to round number 3, whenever that is. Alright, round number 3 here. 2015 Modern with John Living End. This hand's pretty good, it just needs a Cascade spell. And now my microphone is plugged in. Boom. Lead off with Copperline Gorge. That narrows us down to maybe like 2 or 3 decks. This could be Jund, it could be Living End. It could be, I don't know, Naya Burn maybe. From our opponent's point of view. Steam Vents tapped. Another Copperline. We give away what we're doing right away. Cascade spell would be nice. I'm going to look for one now. Darn. I could Beast within their land. I don't think I'm going to do that yet, because then I could die to my Beast token. But then I could Beast within their Beast token. Also wondering if I should be playing Blood Moons. Probably. Okay. Let's put the screws to them. And maybe force out a remand here. I don't think that Simian Spirit Guide was going to do much. Nope, they just let it resolve. Interesting. I wonder if our opponent has Spell Pierce. I thought for sure that would bait out a remand. Alright, I'll just play the Raging Ravine. They could Splinter Twin the Beast token. That would be pretty good. Alright, they cracked their fetch land. Alright, now that I've plugged in my computer, the performance should improve. I just recorded a league where the performance was absolutely terrible. I wonder if it's because my laptop was not plugged in. Opponent gets 2 basic lands, neither of which are blue. Alright, so maybe they're not on a Splinter Twin type strategy. I think what I'll do here is upkeep, destroy land. I think that's good. I could have gone for a Violent Outburst there. Yeah, now they have Remand mana. That was pretty bad. Okay, I'm going to pass the turn, and then when they fetch, I'm going to Outburst. Boom. No counter spells for you, opponent. Not the best Living End. I could have ferried there. Actually, yeah, I should have ferried there. You know, I just have not been playing Magic very well today. I recorded a league today. It did not go very well. I also think the deck was very sketchy. This is actually the same number of turns of a clock with Fairy and without it. If I draw a land here, I can fire up Raging Ravine. Instead, what I think I'll do, Let's go to combat. I mean, I could have fired up Raging Ravine with Simian Spirit Guide anyway. They can like Snapcaster here, but they don't have anything in the graveyard. They take 3 to Deceiver Exarch. Okay. So this is twin with white mana. They could have Path to Exile here. They go ahead and they Path the Minotaur. We'll use that ability to go to Swamp. I wonder if they have all these basics in their deck because they have Blood Moon, but I don't think they have Blood Moon. So I could do a couple things here. I could Violent Outburst as a pump spell, but I think instead what I'll do is nothing. And if they go to Splinter Twin, even though they don't need to, I'll use Outburst. All right. Well, not using the fairies has turned out to be very bad. Gonna preserve my life total and just cast a fairy. Make them block. I mean, this is a deck full of like lightning bolts and stuff, so I don't think this fairy would have made it too long. Yeah, they electrolyze. I was kind of hoping they would Deceiver Exarch there and tap one of my lands, thinking that they were beyond the reach of my interaction. Opponent probably has a handful of Splinter Twins. I was just thinking, what would be really good against Splinter Twin would be Authority of the Consuls. It would be good against be good against all of them. Okay, opponent goes for Splinter Twin. Gonna target Path and Wall of Omens with Fairy Macabre. And Outburst again. And then I can follow up and play Monkey. And we're pretty much cooking. Actually, I think we just go in with Raging Ravine. I think that kills our opponent the fastest. Yeah, that's a 2-turn clock. I'll just cycle right now. Why not? All right, opponent's at 4. So they can Deceiver Exarch and tap the land. They could still just have us here. Splinter Twin is a very good deck. Go to combat. No, of course we don't get to attack. They have another Deceiver. But I do have Flying. So they have to tap one of my fairies and then block Raging Ravine unless they have Lightning Bolt. I think they're thinking about that right now. All right. Well, they weren't totally dead there. They could have blocked Fairy, but then they're stuck without a Deceiver Exarch in play. All right, what do we want? I think Shriek Maw. I think we definitely want Ricochet Trap. I think that's it. I don't think they do too much else. Should probably have Blood Moon in this deck. And then Oh, they mistapped their mana, they say. Okay, well, just pretend we played good there. A lot of times these deck pivot just into like a Snapcaster control plan post board, especially once they know what you're doing. So do I want Shriekmaw? What's bad in my main deck? I guess Demonic Dread is kind of bad. No, I don't think I want Shriekmaw. But on the other hand, Deadshot's also kind of bad. All right. I mean, a Ricochet Trap. This hand also has Living End in it, so this is basically a mulligan to 6. I'm gonna keep it because I'm on the draw. Wish I had a Grief I could evoke. Nah, just kidding. I don't wish that. Okay. Need to draw some lands here. Shout out to Raging Ravine. It's been the MVP of the league so far. Rest in peace. Not the best thing to see there. Well, I can never cast Architects of Will, so I might as well cycle it. I don't have any blue mana in the deck. Yep. Alright. Sorry for that Discord pop-up. Just gonna play the Overgrown Tomb. So Ricochet Trap, if I have a creature in play, they have Celestial Colonnade, by the way, in their Splinter Twin deck. Ricochet Trap can change the target of Splinter Twin. Although the opponent is just threatening lethal next turn. They're going to upkeep, tap Deceiver Exarch. That protects them from Fulminator Mage. Copperline Gorge. I could have tapped that mana, but I don't want to. Oh, wait. You know what? No, spell. All right. So Ricochet Trap could not have tapped their own lands. And this is where Shriekmaw is nice. A lot of times they kind of hesitate on the Splinter Twin, or they just don't have it. So that's why I left the Shriekmaw in the deck. Well, I tapped the wrong land there. Kind of a bummer. I'll just leave that in my hand. I don't like playing Copperline Gorge with Architects of Will, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I could suspend Living End next turn, but I mean, that's just so pointless, I think. Maybe I ought to have a Plains in the deck, but it is painful to put a Plains in your mana base. Just Force Cycle. Bloodmoon would be pretty good against this deck too, potentially. And I'm starting to feel like how people used to feel back in Modern. People used to say we need more sideboard slots, because I was just thinking, like, what could I sideboard against them? Like, well, I guess Reclamation Sage is about one of the few good things that would be good here, but like there's just not enough spots because all the decks are so different. All right, well, I see your angel and I raise you an insect cycle. Okay. They have 2 mana. We're pretty much just dead here. It's too bad. It's too bad the Deathshot Minotaur does 3 instead of 4. I don't believe I have a way to win here. So I'm just gonna bank on them not having Splinter Twin by some miracle. I'm tapped out. That's fine. I can't do anything anyway. I could change the target of Splinter Twin to Restoration Angel. I guess that would have been good. But that doesn't actually help. No. The Splinter Twin on Restoration Angel. Make an Angel. Bounce Deceiver. Untap. Yeah, put a Splinter Twin on Restoration Angel is even worse for me. Okay, maybe we'll get them combobulated. I'm gonna cycle. Decombobulated, I should say. The problem is if I play Fairy out, planning to redirect Splinter Twin to it, they're not gonna cast a blue spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Monstrous Carabid. They can counter this, whatever. All they have to do is counter one living end that's coming off suspend soon. Path to Exile, I will search my library. If you think I'm out of bad creatures, you're sorely mistaken. Snapcaster Mage. Do they have the twin? Yes, they do. Go ahead and use Copperline. Maybe we'll draw a Simian Spirit Guide. We can play a Fulminator next turn. That'd be pretty cool. Unfortunate. I'm not going to commit anything else to the graveyard at the moment. There's no point. Opponent taps 2 for Rest in Peace. Yeah, we could have seen that coming. Oh well. Might as well use Architects because it will never be cast. Alright, there's a Forest. No more fetchables. No more fetchable basics, I mean, in our deck. Let's go ahead and cast Fulminator Mage. Use it. So now all of our opponents' Swords to Plowshares are just well, all their what do they call it? Path to Exiles are now just Swords to Plowshares, but better. They drew the land. Don't know if they had it all along or not. Okay, well, I'm kind of in a pickle here. I only have no, I've got more than one 5 drop. I could cast a Shriekmaw, but I need to hit my 5th land no matter what. I think I should have taken out more Demonic Dreads. I think another Fulminator is our best draw. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle. That was not our best draw. There we go. I'm gonna get rid of the white mana. They already have blue. Their best counterspell is Remand, so they only need 1 blue. Alright, and then hopefully next turn we draw a land and we can just start casting things. Rest in Peace beats us so badly. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe this will convince them to Exarch but not Splinter Twin. And then we can take out the Exarch. Snapcaster Mage, but no value. Alright, our next Shriekmaw has something to do. They Serum Visions. I wonder how much combo they have left. I give us about a 1% chance to win this game. They drew their white mana. Opponent has everything. Not going to block. Hopefully what they do is Exarch pre-combat. They don't. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and just make the only play I have. My plan to win this game is 5 mana 3/2s. And now that they have Splinter Twin Deceiver Exarch, they've got us. Just another Snapcaster. Pretty anemic with Rest in Peace. A little bit surprised they're still playing Snapcaster with Rest in Peace in their deck, because you're gonna play your Rest in Peace like ASAP. And Fearmonger or Shriekmaw actually has Fear, which is an ability that causes a Snapcaster mage to be unable to block it. I think they know that. They're attacking with Snapcaster. Okay. We get another turn. We draw another land. Just get these freaking well, that was bad. I should have left a swamp in my deck, I guess. It doesn't really matter, because if I draw Twisted Abomination, I'm gonna cast it now. Attack for 6. They path, use the ability. Darn, I'm out. I'm just gonna cast Spirit Guide. I'm not gonna hold up Ricochet Trap mana. There's no point. Oh, there is a point. It could buy us time. The opponent appears to be top decking, looking for Splinter Twin. Do need to be careful. I could just die to a flurry of lightning bolts, but there's not really much I can play around. Fulminator Mage was a great draw. Well, Fulminator Mage was a castable draw. They have Restoration Angel. That is really bad for us. So we're just going to have to Living End here and reset. Nice. Still do 3. Oops. Wrong version of Living End. Red. Wipe the board. That resolves. Cast Fulminator, and I'm just going to keep it in play. They already have... Well, they don't have double red. No, they do have double red. They have it. If I take out Sulphur Falls, they have it, but I'd rather attack them first, then I can reevaluate. I can sack at instant speed. Now they have all their colors again. All right, another land. Good for us. And I'm just going to threaten this Living End. We don't have to cast it. That's totally up to us. Opponent takes 1, which puts him to a 4-turn clock. Helpful. Ricochet Trap is a good draw now. Like a really good draw. Nice. All right. This could be a really cool way to win the game if we get to put Splinter Twin on a Fulminator Mage. They're drawing lands. Kessig Wolfrun, or sorry, not Kessig Wolfrun. Raging Ravine would also be a really good draw. How many cards have I exiled? I have 1 Living End. I have 2 Living Ends in exile, so I still have 1 in the deck, which is good to know. And nice. Now Lightning Bolt is lethal. if I Ricochet Trap it. Lightning Bolt might be how they're planning on dealing with this Fulminator Mage. Thanks to the new rules change, I do not have to cast. Ha, I drew the last one. What a joke. Alright, opponent goes to 1. Hopefully. No, they path. Oh, that was so bad for us. Now Ricochet Trap doesn't work. Hopefully they just go for like random Lightning Bolt. I could cast that Street Wraith, hoping to draw out, or hoping to get a cheaper spell I could cast. Remand. So if I Ricochet Trap Remand, it still just goes to their hand. I'm just going to cycle it. Whatever. Alright, I can cast SSG next turn. Well, you know, as it turns out, we should have cycled that Street Wraith. And it was also very unlucky that we drew a third living end. We had 3 living ends in the top half, 2 living ends in the top half of our deck. That was just super unlucky. Yep, and we got Splinter Twin. This was like far and away, I think, the best deck in the format. Oh well, close one. We should have used Street Wraith.